Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast where we don't just teach you English, we help you find your voice. I am Tom.
And I am Ria. It is so good to be here with you all today. You know, Tom, today feels a little different.
It does, doesn't it? The energy feels calmer, more intimate, maybe because of the topic we are tackling today.
Exactly. We are going back to the beginning, but not just for beginners. I think what we are going to talk about today applies to anyone who feels stuck or anyone who feels that nervous flutter in their stomach when they have to open their mouth and speak English.
That nervous flutter, I know it well. I think we all do. Even native speakers get it when public speaking. But for a learner, it is there constantly. Today, we are talking about speaking hacks for beginners. But Ria, I want to be clear. When we say hacks, we don't mean magic tricks where you wake up fluent tomorrow.
No, definitely not. We mean shifts, small changes in how you think and how you act that unlock the door. Because I feel like so many of our listeners are standing in front of a locked door. They have the key in their pocket, which is the vocabulary they have studied, but they just can't get the door open.
That is such a beautiful metaphor, standing at the door with the key but afraid to turn it. So let's talk about that fear first. Before we get into the practical techniques, we have to talk about the heart. Why is it so scary to speak as a beginner?
I think it is the fear of losing our identity. Think about it, Tom. In your native language, you're funny, you're smart, you're articulate, you can express complex feelings. But when you switch to English as a beginner, suddenly you feel like a child. You can only say simple things. You feel like you have lost your intelligence.
That hits deep. You're right. It's an ego thing. We don't want to sound foolish. I remember when I was trying to learn a second language, I would stay silent for hours in a group of people because I was terrified of saying the wrong verb tense. I would rather be the quiet guy than the guy who makes a mistake.
And that is the trap. That is the biggest trap. So here's the first major hack, and it is a mindset hack. You have to embrace the toddler phase. You have to give yourself permission to sound imperfect.
Permission to be imperfect. I love that. But how do we actually do that? Because saying it is easy, but doing it when your face is flushing red is hard.
It starts with changing the goal. Most beginners think the goal of a conversation is to speak perfect English. It is not. The goal of a conversation is connection. It is understanding. If I say to you, "Me hungry food now," is that perfect grammar?
Not at all. It sounds like a caveman.
Exactly. But did you understand me?
I did. You want to eat.
So the communication was successful. Beginners need to celebrate communication, not grammar. If you got your point across, you won. That is the first hack. Celebrate the connection. When you stop policing your own grammar, your brain relaxes. And when your brain relaxes, the words actually flow better.
It's almost paradoxical, isn't it? The less you try to be perfect, the better you speak. It's like holding sand. If you squeeze your hand too tight, the sand falls out. If you hold it gently, it stays.
Oh, I love that image. So let's get practical. Let's say I'm a beginner. I've accepted that I will make mistakes, but I literally don't know what to say. The words won't come out. What is a practical hack for that physical act of speaking?
I have one that I swear by. It's called the narration technique, or simply talking to yourself.
Yes, I used to do this all the time. Tell us how it works.
So, the problem beginners have is that they only try to speak when someone is listening. That's high pressure. The narration technique is about speaking when no one is listening. You simply narrate your life as it happens.
Give us an example. Walk us through a morning using this technique.
Okay, so I wake up. I sit on the edge of the bed. I say out loud, "Okay, I'm waking up now. I'm stretching my arms. My feet are touching the floor. It's cold. I'm walking to the bathroom. I'm looking in the mirror. I look tired. I need coffee.
That sounds so simple.
It is, but look at what's happening. You're connecting your physical reality directly to English words. You're skipping the translation process in your head. You're building the muscle memory of your mouth moving in English shapes. But there's zero pressure because nobody's judging you.
And you can do this anywhere, right?
Anywhere. I mean, maybe don't do it loudly on a crowded bus or people will think you're crazy, but you can do it under your breath, while washing dishes, while driving. It bridges the gap between thinking in English and speaking in English.
I love that. And I want to add a layer to that hack. What happens when you are narrating your day, say you are making coffee, and you want to say, I am pouring the water, but you don't know the word for pour? You get stuck.
Right. That is the moment most people give up. They go to Google Translate.
Don't go to Google Translate immediately. That is the hack. Struggle with it for a moment. Describe it. If you don't know pour, say, I am putting the water in. I am dropping the water. Use the words you do know to explain the word you don't know.
That is actually a skill called circumlocution, talking around the word. It is a lifesaver because in a real conversation, you can't pause and check a dictionary. You have to keep the ball rolling.
Exactly. And learning to describe what you mean is actually more valuable than knowing the specific word. It makes you flexible.
So we have the mindset shift of connection over perfection. We have the narration technique of talking to yourself. What about listening? People say you have to listen to speak, but simply listening isn't enough, is it?
No, passive listening is good for comprehension, but it doesn't build speaking muscles. We need active listening. We need shadowing.
Shadowing. This is a classic, but I feel like a lot of people do it wrong. They just robotically repeat the words.
Yes, and that is boring. And if it is boring, you won't do it. The way to make shadowing a real hack is to become an actor. You have to mimic the emotion, not just the words.
Okay, explain that. How do I mimic the emotion?
So let's say you are listening to a podcast, maybe this one, and I say something exciting like, "Oh my God, Tom, that is amazing." Don't just mumble, "Oh my God, that is amazing." You have to throw your hands up. You have to raise your pitch. You have to feel the surprise.
So you're copying the melody of the sentence, not just the vocabulary.
Precisely. English is musical. It has ups and downs. Beginners often speak like robots because they're focused on the individual words. But fluency is about the music. When you shadow with emotion, you learn the rhythm of English. You learn where the stress goes.
I think that helps with confidence too, because you're essentially trying on a new personality. When I speak Spanish, I feel like I have a slightly different personality. I'm a bit louder, a bit more expressive, and shadowing helps you find that English personality.
It really does. And you know, Tom, speaking of rhythm and music, there is another hack that is super fun. It is singing.
Singing? I'm a terrible singer, Ria. You don't want to hear that.
It doesn't matter. You can sing in the shower, but think about it. When you sing a song, you don't think about grammar, you don't think about sentence structure, you just flow. You connect words together.
That is true. You learn linking. You know how words blend into each other? Like instead of say it is, we say it is. Singing forces you to do that.
Right, and repetition is natural with songs. You might sing the same chorus 50 times. That's 50 times you're practicing a sentence structure without it feeling like a boring drill.
So, find a song you love, print the lyrics, and belt it out. I like it. Okay, I want to pivot a little bit. We have talked about solo practice, but eventually you have to talk to a human, and that is the terrifying part.
The moment of truth.
What is a hack for handling that first real conversation when you're face to face with a native speaker or a teacher?
I call this the preparation hack, but not in the way you think. Usually people prepare by memorizing grammar. I want you to prepare your safety scripts.
Safety scripts. That sounds like an emergency plan.
It is. When you're a beginner, you're going to get lost. Someone will speak too fast or use a slang word, and you will panic. Your brain freezes. The safety scripts are phrases you memorize perfectly to handle those moments so you stay in control.
Oh, I see. Phrases like, could you please slow down? Or what does that word mean?
Yes, but even more natural ones like, sorry, I didn't catch that, or my English is a work in progress, bear with me. When you have these phrases ready, you don't have to panic when you don't understand. You just pull out a script. It buys you time.
I like that. It's like having a shield. You know that no matter what happens, you can handle the situation. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to manage the conversation.
Exactly. Managing the conversation. That is such a high-level skill, but beginners can do it too. Another safety script is the filler words.
Ah, the fillers. You know, teachers used to tell me to never use those. They said it sounds unprofessional.
I completely disagree. Maybe in a formal speech, sure. But in conversation? Native speakers use fillers all the time. They are the glue of conversation. And for a beginner, they are magic because they buy you thinking time.
That is a great point. If I sit there in total silence while I'm searching for a word, it becomes awkward. The other person wonders if I heard them. But if I say, well, let me think, or, it keeps the connection alive while my brain is working.
Yes, it signals to the listener, I am still here. I am just processing. It makes you sound so much more fluent. A robot goes silent. A human says, that is a good question.
So learn the English fillers. Actually, that is a specific action step. Don't use the fillers from your native language. If you are Spanish, don't say Try to say or well. It makes a huge difference in how you sound.
It really does. It keeps you in the English zone. Tom, I want to ask you about something I hear a lot. Students say, I don't have anyone to practice with. I live in a country where no one speaks English.
The lonely learner dilemma. It's a valid challenge, but in 2025, is it really true?
I don't think so. I think it's a bit of an excuse. But I get it. It feels real. So what is the hack for the lonely learner?
The Voice Note Journal. This changed everything for a student of mine. She was too shy to talk to real people, so I told her every night, record a 2-minute voice note on your phone. Send it to me or just keep it for yourself. Summarize your day.
Why is recording better than just talking to yourself?
Because when you hit record, the pressure goes up just a little bit. It simulates a real audience. You try a little harder. And the best part, you can listen to it the next day.
Ugh, that is painful though. Listening to your own voice?
It is painful at first. We all hate our own voices. But it's data. You hear yourself and you go, oh, I said he go instead of he went. You catch your own mistakes. You become your own teacher.
That is powerful. Self-correction is so much deeper than teacher correction. When you spot the mistake yourself, you never forget it.
And you can track your progress. Imagine listening to your voice note from 6 months ago. You will hear how much you've improved. That is huge for motivation.
I love that. It turns your phone into a language partner. I also want to mention the imitation technique using social media. We scroll for hours anyway, right?
Guilty as charged.
Instead of just mindlessly scrolling, find one creator who speaks English, someone you like. Maybe they cook, maybe they do comedy. Watch one of their short videos, then put the phone down and try to record yourself saying exactly what they said.
So it's like a bite-sized version of shadowing.
Yes, short, punchy, real English, not textbook English. You learn slang, you learn intonation, and it takes 2 minutes.
That brings up a good point about content. Beginners often start with children's books or very old textbooks, and they get bored.
Boredom is the enemy. If you are bored, your brain shuts off. You have to find content that matters to you.
This is the interest hack. Don't learn English, learn in English.
Explain that distinction.
If you love gardening, don't buy a grammar book. Watch YouTube videos about gardening in English. Your desire to know how to grow those tomatoes will override your fear of the language. You'll focus on the message, not the medium.
That is so true. I learned so much of my second language just by watching makeup tutorials. I wanted to know how to do the eyeliner, so I was forced to understand the words. And because I was interested, the vocabulary stuck.
Context is everything. When you learn a word like soil or fertilizer in the context of a video you enjoy, it sticks. If you learn it from a list, it disappears in 10 minutes.
So stop studying subjects you hate just because they're in English. If you hate politics, don't read English news. Read a romance novel. Read a comic book.
Comics are great, actually. The pictures give you the context. If you don't understand the word, the image explains it.
Tom, I feel like we have covered so much ground. Mindset, narration, shadowing, singing, safety scripts, recording yourself. It's a lot.
It is, and I don't want our listeners to feel overwhelmed. You don't have to do all of these at once. Pick one, just one.
Which one would you start with if you were starting from zero today?
I would start with the narration technique, talking to myself, because it is private, it is free, and I can do it all day. It builds the habit of thinking in English. What about you, Ria?
I think I would choose the safety scripts. For me, anxiety is the biggest barrier. Knowing I have those phrases in my pocket would give me the courage to actually say hello to someone.
That is a really good insight. Know yourself. If your problem is vocabulary, narrate. If your problem is fear, prepare scripts.
I want to touch on one last thing before we wrap up. The concept of the plateau. Because beginners make fast progress at first, and then they hit a wall. And they think, I'm not talented. I can't do this.
The dreaded plateau. It is actually a good sign. It means you aren't a total beginner anymore. You're consolidating what you learned, but it feels like stagnation.
So the hack here is change your input. If you have been doing the same things for 3 months and you feel stuck, shock your system.
Shock the system. I like that. How?
If you only listen to one podcast, find a new one with a different accent. If you only read, start speaking. If you only speak, start writing. Your brain gets lazy with routine. Wake it up with something new.
And be patient with yourself. Language learning is like growing a tree, not building a wall. A wall goes up brick by brick, visible progress every hour. A tree grows underground for a long time before you see the leaves.
That is beautiful, Tom. We are growing roots.
Exactly. And every time you speak, even if you make a mistake, you are watering that tree.
I want to ask the listeners right now to take a deep breath. Just breathe. Release that tension in your shoulders. Learning English should be a joy. It opens up the world. It allows you to connect with people you would never meet otherwise.
Don't let the fear of a verb tense stop you from making a friend. That is really the bottom line.
I remember a story you told me once, Tom, about a taxi driver.
Oh yes, in Italy. My Italian was terrible, basically non-existent. But I got in this taxi, and the driver was this old jovial guy. He started talking to me. I could have just said, sorry, no Italian, and looked at my phone.
But you didn't.
No, I wanted to try. So we had a 20-minute conversation using maybe 50 words total. Lots of hand gestures, lots of smiles. He told me about his grandchildren. I told him about my trip. It was broken. It was messy, but it was one of the best memories of that trip.
And if you had worried about grammar, you would have missed that moment.
Exactly. I walked away from that taxi ride feeling so proud, not because I spoke perfect Italian, but because I connected with a human being.
That is the spirit we want you to have. Be brave, be messy, be loud.
And remember, every native speaker you meet, well, most of them, are actually very patient. They appreciate that you're trying to learn their language. They want to help you.
And if they aren't nice, that is their problem, not yours. You are the one doing something amazing. You are expanding your brain.
So, let's recap the action plan for this week. We like to leave you with homework, but fun homework.
Yes. Challenge number 1. Narrate your morning routine tomorrow, from the moment you wake up until you leave the house. Do it out loud.
Challenge number 2. Find one song in English, listen to it, read the lyrics, and sing it. Feel the rhythm.
And finally, be kind to yourself. If you stumble, if you forget a word, laugh about it. Laughter releases tension.
We are right here with you on this journey. Real English Voices is a community. You're not doing this alone.
We read your comments and we see your struggles. And we also see your victories.
So keep going, keep speaking, and don't let the silence win.
Your voice matters. The world wants to hear what you have to say.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This was a really special conversation.
It really was. Thank you, Tom. And thank you to everyone listening.
Until next time, keep practicing.
Bye, everyone.
See you soon.
Wait, Tom, before we actually cut the recording, I was just thinking about that taxi story.
Yeah?
I think it fits perfectly with the Don't Be Afraid theme.
Oh, really? Tell us. Bonus content.
So, I was at a coffee shop, and there was a woman there who clearly spoke English as a second language. She was trying to order a customized drink. Lots of milk, no sugar, specific temperature, and she was struggling. The barista was a bit impatient.
Oh, I hate seeing that. It makes you feel so small.
I could see her getting flustered. She started apologizing. Sorry, my English is bad, and I saw her shrinking. But then she stopped. She took a deep breath, and she smiled, and she just pointed to things and used very simple words. This milk, no sugar, hot.
She simplified. She didn't try to use the fancy Starbucks lingo.
Exactly. She went back to basics. And she got her coffee, and she turned to me and winked, like, I did it! It was such a small moment, but it was a victory.
That is the keep it simple hack we didn't even mention. Sometimes we overcomplicate things because we want to sound smart, but simple is effective.
Simple is effective. That should be on a t-shirt.
You know, I think a lot of beginners feel like they have to translate their adult thoughts into English, and adult thoughts are complex. I would like to partake in a beverage that is moderately heated.
Who talks like that?
Nobody. But in our heads, that is how we think we sound in our native language. But in English, just say, warm drink, please.
It is about humility. Being okay with sounding simpler than you really are. It is a temporary state. You won't sound simple forever.
Right, it's a stepping stone. You know, Rhea, discussing this makes me realize how much psychology is involved. 80% psychology, 20% vocabulary.
I would agree with that. The words are out there. They're in books, apps, movies. The barrier is inside.
I want to ask you about accents, because that is another huge fear. I sound weird. I have a thick accent. What do we say to beginners who hate their accent?
Oh, embrace it. Your accent is your history. It's where you come from. As long as people can understand you, an accent is actually charming.
I agree. Think about celebrities with accents. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sofia Vergara, Gal Gadot. They have strong accents. Does it stop them?
Not at all. It makes them unique. It's their brand. So don't try to sound like the Queen of England unless you are the Queen of England.
Unlikely that she's listening, but if she is, hello, Your Majesty.
But seriously, clarity is key. Pronunciation matters. People need to know if you're saying ship or sheep. But accent, that is just flavor.
Flavor. I like that. Don't be vanilla. Be whatever flavor you are. Spicy.
Spicy English. That sounds fun. But on pronunciation, that is a physical skill, right? That goes back to the shadowing. You have to train the muscles.
Yes, your mouth has muscles. If you speak a language that doesn't use the TH sound, like think, your tongue literally doesn't know how to do that gymnastic move. You have to go to the gym for your tongue.
Tongue gym. That sounds terrible.
It sounds awful, but it's true. Stand in front of a mirror, look at your mouth, watch where your tongue goes. It's mechanical.
I remember watching a video of a speech therapist showing where the tongue hits the teeth. It was weirdly fascinating. It takes the mystery out of it. It's not magic, it's biology.
Exactly. So if you can't make a sound, don't feel stupid. Just study the mechanics. Oh, my tongue needs to touch the roof of my mouth here, and practice it.
I think that helps detach the emotion from the struggle. It's not, I am bad at English. It's, my tongue muscles aren't strong enough yet.
That is a much healthier way to look at it.
We are getting really philosophical now.
I think it's necessary because usually people just give lists. Learn 10 words a day, watch one movie. But if you don't fix the internal dialogue, you won't do those things.
True. Motivation is the fuel. If the tank is leaking because of fear, it doesn't matter how much fuel you pour in.
Wow, Tom with the metaphors today. Holding sand, growing trees, leaking fuel tanks.
I'm on a roll. It must be the coffee I narrated making this morning. I am drinking the coffee. It is giving me energy.
See, the narration works.
It really does. Okay, we should probably let these nice people go. They have practicing to do.
They do. Remember, talk to yourself today. It's not crazy, it's brilliant.
And if anyone catches you, just say, I'm practicing with Tom and Rhea.
Blame it on us. We don't mind.
All right, for real this time. Thank you for listening to Real English Voices.
Keep talking, keep smiling.
Bye.
Bye.